Today, we're innovating accessories to make your experience better every time. You're watching Cigars Daily. It's time to head back to the cigar heartland of America for a very important and very cool conversation that I got to have with Jimmy at Quality Importers. Here's the scope of this and why I wanted to talk to this guy so much. In the world of cigars, it's a simple experience. It's one of the reasons cigar smokers like cigars so much more than pipes, which are finicky and difficult and time-consuming and it's tough. And your pipe smokers tend to be that way. You pipe smokers, you're finicky people. I personally appreciate the simplicity of a cigar. You cut it, you light it, you're down the road. But certainly you can be very frustrated if you don't have what you need. A cutter that mashes the cap of the cigar or a lighter that doesn't quite get the job done. And there's this idea in the cigar world that accessories should cost you obscene amounts of money to get the job done. Unless you're a super seasoned aficionado, in which case you know that is not the truth at all. There are some amazing and economic accessories that'll do a fantastic job. In fact, sometimes much better than the expensive stuff. I have several lighters at home that retail for $300 a lighter. And truth be told, I would be going to a simpler, more affordable lighter like the Pistola. I would do this just about any day of the week over that $300 lighter. And so that's where I want to take you to today, to learn more about how accessory companies like Quality Importers innovate to create accessories that are not only affordable, but get the job done, get it done right, and get it done at the right price. Hell, I've been so impressed with the folks over at Quality that I'm working with them to come up with some of my own custom bits, like this Travel Humidor right here, and I'll show you guys a little bit more of that during the video. They do some amazing work. Look, the logo is etched into the foam inside the Travel Humidor. It's amazing. Okay, Jimmy is the guy who knows about all of this, so we're going to dive back into the cigar heartland. Here's how you take accessories and make them easy, affordable, and reliable. Guys, inside the world of accessories, you're always looking for one thing: a fine cigar accessory that solves problems that you're experiencing, right? Beyond just not being able to light a cigar. If you don't have fire, you can't get anywhere anyway. Sure. But here at Quality, your job is to create this world of innovation that makes not only lighting cigars convenient, but solves problems for people. So today, Jimmy's going to take us through a few of these. And by the way, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Thank you.
How long have you been here at Quality?
Joined Quality Importers in 2018.
2018, and you've been innovating ever since.
Ever since.
And you're familiar with some of the ways that the world of cigar accessories has really changed over not just since 2018, but for a long time.
Yeah, I've been in the quote unquote industry since 1997, so I've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah, man, since before the famous cigar boom.
Right at the cigar boom.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Okay. So there's a few ways that things have changed. You're going to take us through a few of those now, and you guys can watch, and I'll ask you to drop a comment down below. What are the big things that you look for in cigar accessories? Like, what are the accessories that have solved problems that you've had, that you've come to know and come to trust? We talked about a few of them today that we wanted to share with everybody. So kick us off with the first one.
Sure. One of the first things that we started to see was the idea, more so than the recent years than in the past, was the idea of getting together to smoke a cigar.
Yeah.
In other words, the cigar was the event. And Herfs. Yeah. So people would get together. And of course, when you're getting together, you have to bring along some cigars. And I think that traveling with cigars was not just traveling on vacation, but it could be just going out for the afternoon or that evening. So I think, to me, one of the big innovations was the cigar caddy. I think the ability to have something that was lightweight, that was rough and tumble, you didn't have to worry about, the lacquer finish on it.
Yeah.
And could have, storage. And of course, they come in various sizes. So depending on your level of smokeness and how much you smoke, you could carry 5, 10, 15, 40, 80.
Basically the Nalgene bottle of humidors, right? Like, exactly. You could throw the damn thing off a cliff. I mentioned in another video, these things are airtight. They're waterproof, but you mentioned they're lightweight.
And they're lightweight, yeah. So that's important because you don't want, it just makes it easier for you. And then part of an accessory is the ease of which you can live with it, the ease of which using it. And then, of course, you know, the other thing that's great with Cigar Caddy is like everything we want to customize. We have strong personalities, and we like to express our personalities. And Cigar Caddy comes with a range of different expressions on the top, and people do their own, and they sticker their own, and they custom make their own. And you know, it's all about expression. Also, the cigar is about expressing a certain thing, and so are your accessories. And so that's why I think the Cigar Caddy was one of the great innovations that decades later is still a key must-have. It's a key must-have in anyone's collection of accessories.
Number 2.
Yeah.
This one fascinated me.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of this.
So this is something I've seen fairly recently, I'd say over the last maybe 7 to 10 years, or maybe 5 to 7 years, something like that, where, you know, we're men and we like to collect. And we collect.
Do we ever?
As started from young kids, if you're collecting, you know, baseball cards, or if you're collecting, you know, back in the old days, stamps. I remember my friends would collect stamps. But we collect. And depending on how, you know, where you are in life, some people collect cars, right? And even homes. Yeah. But certainly people collect cigars. And they collect more and more and more. And I've known lots of buddies of mine who have grown significant collections. And the thing about those collections is they're proud of those collections. Mm-hmm. They don't want to hide them away in 15 desktop humidors. They don't want to put them in, you know, they want to basically showcase their collection. They want, because they are spending significant amounts of money on this collection.
It represents an investment.
Right. So it's a serious investment, and they want to give it a home that it deserves. Yeah. And they want it so that not only it's well preserved, the investment is protected, but they want their collection to be seen. They want to look at it. They want to look at it. Sometimes they want to go in and see what they have. They may have forgotten, oh, I got this one unicorn back in, you know, 3 years ago or 10 years ago at some event or whatever. They want to relive those memories, because most of the time when you're collecting, or very often when you're collecting, there's a memory behind it. So you have a cabinet full of memories, really. And the other part about it is they want to show it off. So when you come over my house, I want you to, let's explore my collection with you. I remember when I was a little kid going over to my buddy's house, and he had this like little suitcase thing where all his Matchbox cars were fit in. He wanted to show it off to me.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
We never grow out of that.
We never grow out of that. It's the same thing. So we have a series of cabinets. Our new series is lit, so there are lights in it. You can even select the color light you want on it. And we also sell along with it the hydration for it, the humidification for it. But the point is that it's a good home for your collection. It's safe. It showcases it for your own enjoyment and for the enjoyment of sharing with your friends when they come over.
Now, you mentioned something to me before the video that intrigued me. I hadn't thought about it. A cabinet humidor like these ones they were traditionally something you would really see in a shop, for a display case in a shop. Yeah. And at home, everybody just had to kind of get by on what they could get. Desktop humidors, maybe a smaller piece of furniture, but really cabinet humidors were an evolution. Sort of this changed as people started saying, you know what, I need one of those in my house because I just have so many damn cigars.
For sure. I think the mentality started with a lot of things in your home where people realized, you know what, I don't want just the Sears brand. I want the stuff that the restaurant has. Yeah. Or I want what the coffee shop, I want the machine that the coffee shop is using. And so they want what the cigar shop is using to store their cigars. They want the cabinet humidor. So people realize that, you know, my collection is worthy of it, and so am I. I want the best of the best. I want the best coffee maker I can get or I can afford. I want the best stove or refrigerator or whatever. And I want the best storage for my cigars that showcase it just like the store does and protects it just like the store does.
And those are made by Humidor Supreme.
Yeah, so our brand is Humidor Supreme, and we make cabinets that can hold 2,000 cigars. You could have shelves and drawers in them if you choose. We also make a 4,000 capacity. Both are available lit and unlit with lighting. The lighting is on a remote. They all lock because your collection should be locked. Yeah. Various finishes too, because what's important is And we do think about this as if this is going to be in your home, we know that there are other people who might live there.
Other forces at work in your home.
Forces of nature, so to speak. Who will have an opinion on what something looks like and how it fits with the decor.
Yeah.
So we have various finishes that hopefully you'll find something that fits with your current home decor. So it's not an eyesore, but it's actually a compliment to your interior design.
Okay, so we've taken the retail display, we've brought that home so that people can display their collections and show them off, which is all fine and good, but you still got to be able to enjoy the damn cigars. And that is I think for cigar accessories, it's great to have a good way to carry them around, to transport them. It's amazing to have a great display for them. But getting a good cut and getting a good light, that's the next thing. Yeah. You guys have been focused on that with a brand that has got a long-staying name in cigars, and that's Palio.
It does, yeah, Palio. Yeah, Palio, this is the Palio cutter. This is where it all started.
That's the original
cutter.
OG cutter.
The OG, as we refer to it as the OG ourselves. This was, one of the first, guillotine cutters, super smooth action, razor sharp blades. You could count on it every time to just crisply, cut your cigar. And it became...
Real quick, can I tell you something?
Sure.
When I first got into the cigar industry, a box of these showed up in the shop where I was working. And somebody from the cigar industry was there. It was a rep or something like that. And he was like, bro, that's a box of, we call them Paleos.
Okay.
We say it wrong. He's like, bro, those are a box of Palio cutters. And I was like, yeah, what, so? He's like, no, dude, it's a Palio. It's and like Palio has always had that brand recognition.
Yeah.
The name stands for the quality.
Yeah.
It represents the quality of the cutter because they stay unbelievably sharp for a very long time.
Yeah. And it's a big part of innovation as well. At the time, there was nothing like it. And I think that, like a lot of great brands, they start off with this one thing they did amazingly well, and they build a company out of it. And that's really what, and you can think of it, whether it's Hermes or Coca-Cola, it's the same thing. They had this one thing that they were really good at. And with Palio was this cutter. And of course, what we wanted to complement the cutter with a lighter. With a lighter line. We wanted you to have something that worked every time, that was foolproof, that you could rely on, because if we're going to say, hey, you can travel with this, you're going to go somewhere with your cigar caddy for the weekend, and you're going to toss in your Palio cutter and your Palio lighter, that lighter you're relying on now.
It better work.
It better work. And part of so there are a couple of features we built into it. Of course, we put in, and you can see, we have few really large vents on each side.
Yeah. That's not just for looks?
It's not just for looks. They actually function. So a lot of, American cars back in the 80s, they would have these fake vents on the sides that no air would go through. Yeah. No, this is meant for air. This is meant for breathability, and the breathability is what gives your lighter the functionality of lighting every time. It's what makes it reliable. If you're traveling with it, one of the things that's really, really important is a really large fuel reservoir, a fuel tank.
This is one of the biggest I've seen.
Yeah, this one, and I've tested this, this will light 150 cigars. No problem.
No way.
One tank will light 150 cigars. Yeah, I've done it myself. Wow. Yeah. So you're good for the weekend for sure. Don't need to bring a small can or try to, you don't need that. You're good for the weekend. You could light yours and your whole crew's cigars.
That's a hell of an advertising point for a lighter.
Absolutely. Wow. And then, of course, if you want to adjust, big fuel wheel on the bottom. Remember the old days when I started the business, you had to break out a screwdriver.
Yep.
You wanted a higher flame?
Break off a fingernail.
Or break off a fingernail, exactly. A thumbnail, yeah. You can see. Remember, fuel windows? Forget about the fuel window. The entire thing is the window.
Yeah.
It's completely visible.
You've also got it situated so that the barrel doesn't heat up the butt.
Right. So
I noticed that with a lot of lighters. If I'm toasting, or especially if I'm touching up a cigar that's burning poorly, I'll notice the lighter gets hot right next to my thumb, and this one doesn't do that at all.
Exactly. You got some distance. You actually have a chamber in there with a ceramic piece that's also absorbing a lot of the heat, and you got also vents that's helping the heat escape way before it gets to there. So yeah, you're not gonna feel it. And then we got a double flame here, conveniently a double flame. So if the guys smoke a lot of big cigars, this will help you light that up just that much quicker.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are clearly the leaders in this field and doing an outstanding job. So I do want to ask you guys, drop a comment down below. Have you used Palio before, or a cigar caddy, or hell, do you even have a cabinet humidor in your house? Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you trust, what you rely on. And I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
My pleasure,
Jimmy.
Tim. Thank you.